All right, it's the 23rd of June. It's a Monday, and we've got about 25 minutes to the NY Open. We'll go to the charts in a second. Yeah. All right, just a second. Just a second. Okay. Sound is good. Everything's good. All right. Let's take a look at what happened on the weekly. We closed bearish. Perfect. Thanks, Philip. We closed bearish. So the weekly prediction was, is price going to close with a smaller weekly uh, bearish wick or a larger wick? It did close with a larger wick, right? So there was a push up towards the end of, let's go take a look at the daily. Can't remember really what happened. Let's take a look at what happened on the 30-minute. Yeah, there was a push up. NY session just pushed up and just ranged. There was nothing. Just a clean push up, 30-minute support form, no pullback, and we pushed straight up back to this liquidity candle and just ranged after that, and nothing happened. Price just hovered around 3367, and we closed just above 3367. That's what happened. Price just pushed up. Daily candle closed bearish, but above 3367 with a larger weekly wick, right, for possibly this week to fill. Let's see. Now, there was news over the week, I think on Friday or Saturday, and the market gap 230 pips. That's what happened. We closed here, we opened here, 230 pips, huge gap, and then a massive push down all the way down here, of almost a 500 pip push down, and then back up again, right? Very volatile now because of what's happening in US, Israel, Iran, right? So very volatile markets right now. Okay. Right. Let's look at the daily. We've created support. We've rejected 3350. We've come back to this daily supply zone, a drop base drop, but it's not a decision level because it's not taken out any daily demand to the left. It hasn't taken out. This daily supply is not a decision level because it hasn't taken out any supply to the left. So it's very likely price is going to push through this. We've already come deep into it. We're going to push through it, head to 3,400 and probably head higher. Very likely. It could happen. Or we could get a reaction at 3,400. But very likely price is coming back up at least another 230, 240 pips, right, on the daily, because we've created support here. We've rejected 3,350 twice, and we're pushing back up. If you look at the 4-hour time frame, we created support, also 4-hour demand here, 4-hour support here, 4-hour demand here. Price came, tapped this area. We've tapped this 3350 3 times on the 4 hours, and we're pushing back up. Clean space to the left. This 4-hour candle has a clean, it was a clean drop, so price could push all the way up here. And once it comes here, this is a heavily tested area. I think the last count was, I think, 10 or 11 times price had tested here on the 30-minute time frame. So if we come back here, we could easily head to 3,400 and then maybe even push further up, right? Again, a lot of volatility because of what's happening with this conflict. Okay. All right. So on Friday, there was nothing. There was no opportunity to take. Price just pushed up 30-minute support form here. Now, if you traded this previous 30-minute support, then and drew the fib based on this, which we did on Friday, price did dip perfectly into it and then pushed up. But I'm not a I don't trade the London session. I didn't trade the London session, so I was waiting here for maybe support did form and a pullback, but it didn't happen. Price pushed up, and then just continued higher and ranged. Right. So let's get rid of all of these and start this process again. Mm. Yeah. Just a second. Yeah. Okay. Let's start. So looking left, let's go to the 1 hour time frame. There is a decision level here, right? On the 1 hour and also on the 30-minute. That one right there, right? We spoke about this on Friday. That is the source of supply. That's what created this push up. Price came, dipped, tapped it, didn't break the low, and pushed up. Came a second time, a third time, and now is creating high lows. We came once, twice, three times, and now we created a high low at 3350, so very likely heading up. So the low time frame confirms what the high time frame daily is showing us, right? Very likely pushing up. So if you will need to draw demand here, drop base rally, this massive drop, 440, almost 450 pip 4-hour candle, and then a drop base rally, right? Okay, let's take a look at that on the 1 hour, because price has come off a psychological round number, maybe even on the 30-minute. Yeah, so bring it up there to that. This close, 767, 710. Yeah, that's better. All right, let's take a look at supply. You have a huge, so there is an invisible candle here. So whenever there is a gap, you can think of it as an invisible candle here. So there's a push up. So this candle closed here and the open was there. So there's a 230 pip 1 hour candle here and then a push down. So a push up and a push down. So there should be a base there, but the base may not be visible because it's a gap or an invisible candle, right? So there is no base there. So we'll have to draw it based on what we see here. So if you visualize that there is a 230 pip 1 hour candle here, a bull candle, then that's a clean drop down, right? So what we can do is we can bring this to that. 164. Okay, that's still that 4-hour supply, right? Prices tapped there many times. If you come here, we're very likely going to break this and head higher. Okay. Okay. Let's take a look at this area because prices crossed a weekly SR level. Let's look at on the 1 hour. Yeah, there is a base there, clear base, a rally, a base, and a rally. Let's take a look at it on the 30-minute. Yeah, even better. This is the leg in, 3 base in candles, because all of these candles have more collective wick than they have body, and then that's the leg out. So this close is 786, this low is 186. Yeah, we're pushing up a lot of bullish volume. We're pushing up. EMAs have just crossed. It's a lot of bullish volume. What I would like to see, since we are very likely to create a new high, we've created a new high in pre-NY session already. So we're very likely going to create a new high in the NY session as well. The trade I would want to take is the pullback, support, and then a retest of the high and continuation. Right, that's the trade that I want to take. How far are you from the EMAs? 180 pips, yeah. Once we get past 200 pips, we can look for this trade, right? If you haven't seen this, if you're new to the streams, then you'll find this in the group. There's a link to the group in the video, just below the video, or in my YouTube bio, you'll find a link, and you'll find this PDF in price action entry alerts, under the price action entry alerts topic. These are the 4 kinds of setups that I look for: 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? And the explanation of the 4 setups are here. These are the buys, these are the sells, obviously. So this, if price goes over 200 pips away from the EMAs, this will very likely be the setup that I'm looking for. If not, I would be looking for something like this: price to pull back, create 30-minute support, and then a tradable 30-minute bull candle to close to retest the high and continue higher. Okay, we are very bullish. Okay, let's continue. So we have, that's a 4-hour demand level. That's a 1-hour demand level. Okay. Just extend these liquidity candles from last week. That's all I'm doing. These were drawn last week. Streams are structured in a certain way that the first 30 minutes is the analysis, the prep work that I do, uh, preparing for the NY Open, right? And then if there's a setup, I discuss it and I take the setup. It's done here live. If there is no setup to take, then I give out a trade for later on, for after NYSE Open, or probably even towards the London close. And then we come back the next day and see if the setup worked or not, right? We do a recap. Okay. Let's just extend this as well. Since about 350 pips, good enough. Good enough. Okay. Right. So we have 2 new demand zones, right? Price has already come and tapped the supply once again, and just 2 new demand zones. I'm going to take a look at these demand zones and see if they're high liquidity zones or not. Let's start with the 1 hour. This demand has taken out supply here. There's a rally, a base, and a drop. So this is a high liquidity zone. Let's take a look at this zone here. Let's go down to the 30-minute. We haven't taken out this high yet. There's a drop, base, 3 base-in candles and a drop here, drop, 3 base-in candles and a drop, and this hasn't taken out that high yet. But we have a weekly SR level here, so you got to keep this in mind because price moves from liquidity to liquidity. So it could come back to this area, tap this area, and push up. It could create support and then push back up. Yeah. Okay. Now, next thing to do is check these demand levels if there's a high liquidity candle inside them. Start with the 1 hour. Let's look at this area first. There is this big 1 hour candle, 71 pips. Let's go to the 30-minute. It's still that candle. Let's start there. That's a good place to start. We have a clear a push up and a push back down all in one candle, and this candle is much, and this candle obviously was inside this candle, so all three of these candles are inside this one candle, right? Yeah. Let's take a look at the 15-minute. Yeah, that's the candle. $15-minute is good. 818163. Okay, let's take a look at this area further down for a liquidity candle. There is this wick, right? A big wick, almost 100 pip wick, 97 pip wick. That's a liquidity grab. It's a liquidity wick from a liquidity level. So whenever that happens, you've got to start with the wick. Yeah, 30-minute candle right there. 15-minute, nothing. Let's look at the 5-minute. $37, $31. Yeah, I'm gonna go with this. That's the candle. Perfect wick to candle. This one right here. 322, 304. Bring that down so it doesn't overlap. 4304. Okay, so that's a liquidity candle right there in that range. You can look left. You don't have to look only in that, just left of that, right? Sometimes the candle might not be inside that zone. It might be left of it as well, right? You're looking for a reason why price pushed up from there, right? Why that zone became a high liquidity zone and took out a portion supply. You're looking for a reason, and the reason is that candle right there. It aligns also with this. This is 109 pips. How big is this? 102. that one. Yeah. Let's take a look at it on the 5-minute. Yeah, I'll go with this 15-minute candle. It's just a little larger. 110, 102, 443334. Okay, perfect. You can see tap, price tapped, grab liquidity, tapped again, pushed up. All right, done. That's the analysis. Okay. Now, I'm going to go to the 50-minute time frame and take a look at what price has done in the Asian and London sessions, right? In a second. This was the massive push up, price gapped. Yeah, good day to you. How are you doing? $415, and this is 6 London low. Yeah, here. 851. $52. Hey, that's okay. That's okay. You just watch. There were last week. If you just watch maybe Tuesday, Wednesday streams or Monday, Tuesday, the live streams. If you just rewatch them, you'll understand the lessons that I shared. Yeah. So just rewatch the streams. I would suggest you watch all of last week. Right. I think Thursday was a holiday, I think, if I remember right. Thursday was a holiday, so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. Just watch those 4 streams. It'll help you. We discussed a lot of concepts in those streams. All right, so that's the Asian high. Price moved about 265 pips. I'm talking about the first few hours of the Asian Open, yeah? And then the London Open pushed about 220 pips. So almost the same, 260, 220, right? A lot of volatility, a lot of volatility because um, um, a lot of volatility because of what's happening with this whole Israel, Iran, US, entanglement. So price is pushing down and then pushing all the way back up. It retraced the entire move, right? It's almost retraced the entire move. We're coming back up. So it was a big push down, almost a 500 pip push down, and we're coming back almost to retrace the entire move back up, right? Okay, so let's take a closer look at this is the NY Open. The NY session just opened. Let's take a closer look at 1 second. Just want to see if volume is good. Yeah, let's take a closer look at what price has done in the Asian and London sessions, right? So on Friday, when towards the NYSE Open, from NYSE Open onwards towards the end of the day, absolutely nothing happened. We just ranged, price moved sideways. Absolutely nothing happened, right? So if you look at the 1 hour chart, we moved 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hours. We closed the day moving sideways. 7 hours moved sideways, nothing happened. Then, because of news that happened over the weekend, price pushed up, gapped up, right? Gapped up. That's an invisible candle, gapped up to the liquidity candle here on the left that we had since last week, right? We had this candle since last week, gapped up straight into that liquidity candle, rejected, pushed back down, right? This is all at the session open, right? Or the market open, not session open, sorry, the market open. This is the session open. So this is the market open, right? We gapped up and pushed down, we pushed up and pushed down all within the market open, right? Within a few candles, right? This is the market open right here. 200 plus pip push, 215 pip push down, maybe even 240 pip push down in the market open. Then price came back. There is a liquidity candle here now. Oh, interesting. We've got to mark this. There's a liquidity candle here. Created a new liquidity candle. The 5 minute, yeah, that's the candle. On the 1 minute, perfect. That's the candle right there. 1 minute candle. I'll explain this in a bit. 412, 860. 412, 860. Perfect. Right, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to push this up so we don't overlap this. $94.12. Okay, so here's what happened. Now, we spoke about this at the stream when we were doing the analysis. There is a bull candle here. There's an invisible bull candle here, right? Price pushed up. So there's a supply zone that's created right here, right? If you look at the 30-minute, there is probably a base there. This is all invisible. You can't see this because that's a gap, right? So that's a rally and a drop. So there is supply up there. In that supply is this 1 minute liquidity candle that we identified on the left here, right? This candle is 155 pips, right? That's a liquidity candle. That's exactly where price is now reacting to that liquidity candle. So going back to what happened, price pushed up, pushed back down, created a liquidity candle, came, retested it, just a second, push up 118 pips, 45. Yeah, this would be the Asian high. This is a bigger push up, a bigger swing high, 123 pips into that liquidity candle and then a push down. 470. Okay, so we created a liquidity candle, came back, grabbed liquidity from the liquidity. We tapped the liquidity candle, pushed down, came back again, almost got there. You can see that that's a tap. Came straight to the next liquidity level, 3367, right? Closed below, crossed the EMAs. The EMAs are moving sideways at that point. We closed below the EMAs, came, tapped 3367 again, the weekly SR level again, pushed straight down to the liquidity candle on the left, right? We created the Asian low, formed 30-minute support, right? Pushed back up to the EMAs, tapped the EMAs, pushed back down, back to the liquidity candle, and 3350 this time, right? The last time it fell short of 3350, this time we came, tapped 3350, right? Formed 30-minute support, right there, 30-minute support. It's a perfect London session trade to take. And price pushed back up from liquidity grab, liquidity wick from 3350, and a pullback back to the liquidity candle and straight to the next liquidity level, which is 3367. Closed at it, closed above it. We formed the London high around 3367. This was the London low, the London high. Now we've closed above and we come back to the liquidity candle, right? Now, we formed a new high in pre-NY. Second. Yeah, we formed a new high in pre-NY. If we form 30-minute resistance, we can look, and a tradable 30-minute back handle closes, we can look for a pullback to take a trade to come down back to 3367 or the liquidity candle. But what I would like to take, the trade I would like to take, is for price to pull back, create 30-minute support, tradable 30-minute bull candle closes to take the buys to go up. That's the trade that I would like to take more than the sells. I would prefer the buys. Price to pull back, create 30-minute support, tradable 30-minute bull candle to close, to take the buys to go up, come back to the liquidity candle and go deeper, go above this. So if you can get in somewhere here, above here, 150 pips, and then even higher, maybe 200, 250 pips. That's the buys, that's the trade I would like to take. The reason for that is because price well above the EMAs have crossed, and we are forming 4-hour structure. Those are the 3 reasons why I prefer buys over sells, right? Clear? 4-hour structure, 4-hour support has formed, right? We have 4-hour support, we have 4-hour demand has formed, price is pushing up. So even if price pulls back, break this 4-hour candle low, break its own low, or the next candle break its low, and then begin to create 30-minute support and go up, that's the trade I would like to take, the buys. I would prefer taking buys today as opposed to taking sells. Even though you could get a sell setup, I would prefer taking buys for those three reasons. Price is above the EMAs, EMAs have crossed, and 4-hour structure has formed, right? For those three reasons, I would like to take buys. I would look to take buys. So now we just wait. Once I've analyzed the chart and I visualized what I want to see on the chart, now I just wait for that to print. So I'm looking for 30-minute support to form, to take buys. 30-minute resistance is likely to form, could form, maybe. It's a long time for the candle to close. 20 minutes, almost 20 minutes for the candle to close. So it's a long time. But price has pushed down already. Heavy push down, 115 pips already. And no bottom wick here. So we're coming below this. We're coming below this. That's the 4-hour candle open. This is the low. We're very likely going to break this low. With possibly the next candle is going to come down and break this low, or the one after that. And then maybe form support to push up. Yeah, that's the trade I would like to take. 30-minute support, 30-minute tradable bull candle close. Take the buys to go up, right? This kind of trade here. This is the kind of setup. New high, pull back, 30-minute support, 30-minute tradable bull candle close. Take the buys to go up. That's the trade I'd like to take today. We should come below this. There's no bottom wick here. Asian sessions have been having very clean setups, clean moves, right? This was the drop. 30-minute resistance formed here from the liquidity candle. This is like possibly why we are reacting here. So this 30-minute resistance formed from the liquidity candle. This candle closed at 2:30 a.m. IC market server time. If you go to the 15-minute time frame, yeah, this was the candle close, right? This candle closed, this one right here, closed at 2:30 a.m. That's when this one opened, 2:30. So if you go to the 50-minute time frame, this was the candle close. So this one took out this high, and you'll have to wait for this one to take out this high to draw the fib like that, right? Because I always look for previous two highs to be M15 highs to be taken out to draw the fib. This one took out this side. This is the candle, 30-minute candle close, but you have to wait for this one to break the high. This one did. Then this one broke this side. That's the most recent high, the most recent low of a candle that took out a previous high, and this is the highest high of a candle that took out a previous high, right? So this low is 478, and this high is 470. 478, 470, right? Look at that. Optimal entry, perfect tap, and price is pushing down. We're likely coming down here back to 3367, right? Now, the trade why price push down makes sense. There's always a reason. Price is never random. The moves are never random. There's always a reason. So it did come here to the optimal entry, and it's pushing down. You have to wait now. When price comes back up, if you form 30-minute support either below 3367 or further down, then we can take the buys and we can anticipate price to come above this wick here. Above this wick, that'll be your first partial close. It'll be your first partial TP level if 30-minute support forms, if a tradable 30-minute bull candle closes, right? Two big ifs. Got to wait for that. Got to be patient. And if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. You can't force a trade. At least I don't force a trade. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. And just I'll come back the next day. Okay, 30-minute, 15-minute resistance formed. We closed right at the London high. And we should break the low, come down. We're coming further down. Clean push down. Yeah. And then I was saying Asian session has clean setup. So that was the one that price is working. There you go. We broke the low. We're coming further down. See, no bottom wick. Broke the low. We're coming further down. We tapped 3367. Now, where was that? Let me just redraw that fib. Price is coming to, could come to 3364. There we go, 3364. That's the 3 RR level, 3364. There we go, 3364. Right, so why this happened makes perfect sense, right? From a liquidity candle, 30-minute resistance formed and a tradable 30-minute bear candle close. That's this one here. Price came, tapped it, push all the way down to the 3 RR level. Okay, so what I was saying here, then this is the second trade, right? So 30-minute resistance formed again. This is also Asian session. This is 4 a.m. IC market server time. Candle closed at 4:30 a.m. IC market server time. From liquidity levels from 3367 weekly SR plus the EMAs, right? They're all liquidity levels, right? Weekly SR, EMAs, BRNs, high liquidity candles, they're all liquidity levels. So here, from the weekly SR level 3367 and the EMAs, 30-minute resistance form and a tradable 30-minute bear candle close. So this candle closed at 4:30 a.m. IC market server time. That's when this candle opened. If you go to the 15-minute chart, this was the candle close right here. If you look at two previous M15 high breaks, this candle broke this side, this candle broke this side. This is the most recent low, and this is the highest high of a candle that broke a previous M15 high, right? So if you draw it like that, this high is 809,196. 809,196. And look at that, perfect entry, optimal entry, 3365.03, and we came straight down. Where is TP? Liquidity, right? The liquidity level, 3350, right? You can take partial positions at the liquidity candle. You could have taken partial position, which is about 107 pips, 1517 pips. Your stop loss would be just above there, above 3368.09. So that's about a 30 pip stop loss. And to the liquidity candle here, and then the next TP would be 3350 because price moves from liquidity to liquidity, right? Just like you see here, price came to a liquidity candle, tapped it, and we're pushing down. But I didn't trade the Asian session, so there was two setups. This one just worked, but the previous one worked within its setup. The setup, the structure was happened during the Asian, and the setup played out also during the Asian. Right? And then we have the London session. Now we're very likely coming here. We're coming further down. Yeah, we're possibly coming here. 30-minute support formed, and a tradable 30-minute bull candle close. It could be coming here. So this candle closed at 9 a.m. IC market server time. If you go to the go to the 15-minute time frame, this was the candle close right here. If you draw fib here, this candle broke this low, this one broke this low. 56,710. Okay, let's see it. I mean, it could come here, but it also could form 30-minute support here and push up. That's possible too. About 9 minutes more for the 30-minute candle to close. Let's see where the candle closes. We've broken the 4-hour low. The candle has broken its own low. It still has a long time for the candle to close, an hour, 38 minutes, right? So there's a plenty of time. This candle can close bearish, could close a doji, or could close bullish, right? It has broken its own low, all right? And we were expecting that for the candle to break its own low, and that's exactly what's happened. So now you got to wait, all right? But the candle, this 30-minute candle has no top wick, hardly any top wick. So we could be pushing back up there. As I said, I would like to take buys today. I would like to take buys. Let's get rid of this. I don't want to have a very cluttered chart. Very likely coming further down. If you break this low and come to this, then I'll delete this entire zone and the liquidity candle. We'll delete that because we've already come past 3367. We've come to the next. So there are 4 liquidity levels in here. That's what you need to understand. There is a liquidity candle. That's the first because that's where price taps first. The next is 3367, and the next one is the first EMA, and the next one is the second EMA. So 4 liquidity candles, 4 liquidity levels in this area. 4 liquidity levels, right? And then if there isn't enough liquidity here in this area, in this zone, in this area of about 60 pips, in this area, if there's not enough liquidity for price to push up, it'll go further down, right? Until it finds enough liquidity. Once it finds enough liquidity, it'll create candle structure, right? It'll form candle structure, and that's what we call support or resistance. It'll form some sort of structure. Once it forms structure, that's when you can look to take a trade to go back up, right? So you're looking for sort of confirmation, for candles to close in your direction, or candles to confirm, or for you to see something you have seen before that has worked. That's what you're looking for. We're pushing down. We're pushing further down. Yeah, we're coming down. Yeah, this is probably the pullback for the 30-minute wick to form. 4 minutes for the candle to close. Like it sometimes happens the last 3-4 minutes, even 5 minutes, 30-minute candle, especially in the last 5 minutes for a 30-minute candle. Kind of pulls back if price is to continue down. It's so what it could possibly be doing. What it does is when forming a wick, the reason for that is that the next candle has a range to trade into, right? So in the last 2-3 minutes or even up to 5 minutes, the candle may pull back. You'll see that even on the 1 hour, right? And even on the 4 hour, right? The last few minutes, maybe the last 15 minutes of a 4 hour candle or 30 minutes of a 4 hour candle, starts to pull back, right? So it's leaving a wick for the next candle to trade into or fill, right? That's what it's doing when that happens, because this is a big bearish push down. Um, the next one could, if it creates a wick, a big wick, then the next one could fill that wick and continue down. If it doesn't create a wick, if it closes without a wick, then we could break the low and the next one could push down and then start pushing back up. Still 2.5 minutes, but yeah, 2.5 minutes, got to wait for the candle to close. Let's see where it's closing. We should close below 3367 easily, then maybe continue down. Be interesting to see if price comes to this. Yeah, if it comes here, what is this? 56,710. Yeah. Let's see if price comes here, taps 3350. I might take buys. I'll wait for if price comes down. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. It's a bit of a risky trade. It's a risky trade, and I'm saying that up front. Okay, but here's what I'm going to do. Here's what I possibly would do. If price comes down here to 3350 or 3351, right? If it comes back to the Asian low, right, around the optimal entry and the sniper entry, right, of this 30-minute support. See the 30-minute support formed, tradable 30-minute bull candle close, and a liquidity grab from 3350 to push all the way up here, right? So if price comes back to this level here, 3351, 3349, to that area, I'll wait for 5-minute support to form, right? Maybe like a 5-minute tradable bull candle to close, and then take a buy which stops below the liquidity candle low, right? So below this candle low here, right here, below this low, stops below that. So maybe about a 50-60 pip stop loss, right? We will find a area to manage risk. Obviously, we're not going to have a 50-60 pip stop loss. We're going to find a place to manage risk. We'll see when we get there, but at the start, maybe about 50-60 pip stop loss for price to push back up to 3367. If we get there, that's a big if. It's a long way for price to go to get there. Another 100 pips. Let's see. Because the market is very volatile right now. Look at that. We had a huge gap up, 230 pip gap up, came all the way back down here, almost 500 pips, pushed back up 350 pips, pushing back down. 30-minute candle has closed below here and a wick to fill. Very nice. So could have a pullback up and then continue down. See, that's a wick to fill for the next candle to fill. It just needs to wick up first and then continue down. And this candle has no bottom wick either. This candle. 11 a.m. IC market server time. So we're coming below that. It's about 45 pips. And then, yeah, 78. Yeah, so here's what as I said, this is what I'm looking for, right? It's a risky trade, so I'd be risking less. That we broke the low, we're coming down. This low here, yeah, about 60 pips is good. 60 pips stop loss, 60, 70 pips is good. But I want to see support form first. Let's see. Let's see. Only if I see clear 5-minute support form. And when I say 5-minute support and a 5-minute tradable candle close, I'll show you what I'm looking for. Very bearish, coming down. Strong push down. Yes, candle like this, similar to this, right? A candle like this, a candle like this, or a candle like this. Tradable 5-minute bull candle close. Support formed, support has formed here, back candle close, support formed, push up. Back candle close, support formed, and a tradable bull candle close, push up. Support formed, and a tradable 5-minute bull candle close, push up. That's the kind of candle I'm looking for. One of these, something like that, right? Coming down, still coming down. Yeah, another 60, 70 pips to go. Is there news? There's no news today. We didn't check the calendar. Oh, we didn't check the calendar today, did we? No, we didn't. Let's check the calendar now. Nothing important this week, except for one of these things happening. One of these things happening. Trump says something. Look at the time, right? He says it around the end of the NY session, right? That's usually when he says something. He says it something in the night, and then in the Asian session, you have a big move in the Asian session, and that move is sometimes retraced in the London session, or that move is continued in the London session. Um, but that's been happening often. So we had something over the on Sunday, and that's what happened. Said something and. Mm. This was what happened on the weekend. If you've been following news, then you know what's happening. Still waiting. Still waiting. It's nothing. Still nothing. Could push up again. There's no top wick. Could push back up here. Yeah, create some sort of supply, lower time frame supply or resistance first and then push down. There's no top wick. It's no top wick here. Should come up above this high, then begin to push down. Okay, I'll be back in a few minutes. We're waiting for some sort of structure to form to take buys, right? So 30-minute support, 30-minute tradable bull candle close to take the buys. That's from around here. If we form support here, price closes back inside the liquidity candle and pushes back up, then we could take buys on the pullback. Or if price comes down here, then I'm looking, as I said, for maybe a 5-minute. It's a bit of a risky trade, but for a 5-minute bull candle to close, a tradable bull candle to close to take a trade to go back up, right? It's better to wait for support to form. It's better. Always better to wait for 30-minute support to form. Always better. But since this area hasn't been tapped yet, this 3-3, this just under the optimal entry, right? That area, that 30, 40, 30, let's say 40 pip area hasn't been tapped yet. So that's the area that I'm watching, this area, to see if we get some sort of structure to push back up to 3367. All right, I'll be back in a few minutes. Right, still waiting for the candle to close. 11 minutes more. Let's look at the 5 minute time. Nothing on the 5 minute. Nothing. There is no sign of a push up. There is nothing. You need to see something like this, like I showed before. A candle like this, strong engulfing candle, 5 minute candle like this, or you need to see candles like what I'd shown previously, like that, engulfing candle, like that, one of those candles, to know the price is going to pull back. But we haven't come down yet. I think the price is going to come further down. Price is going to come further down. Yeah, easily drop another 100 pips. Just creating a wick here. 10 minutes more. Let's look at the 15 minute. What's happening in? Yeah, on the 15 minute also nothing. Still bearish. Yeah, still pushing down. Nothing's happening. Yeah, 30-minute candle is going to close in a couple of minutes. Going to very likely going to close bearish. Still pushing down. Yeah, came back up here. Very much pushing down. We can get rid of this liquidity candle now and the zone. Mm, yeah, because we've tapped the next zone anyway. So that zone and that liquidity candle is not needed anymore. What's happening on the 5 minutes? Still nothing. 15 minute, nothing. Support formed, but very likely pushing further down, which is ranging right now. Just moving sideways on the 15 minute. There's nothing happening. Very likely coming up, and then we should might continue down. 30-minute candle has closed. 1 hour candle has closed. Heavy bearish candle. Wick possibly to fill. Could fill the wick, come further down. Let's see if we form support here or not. If you're going to form support here to continue higher, or is this just a pullback to create a top wick to break above this wick here? This 30-minute candle hardly has any wick. Break above this wick to continue down. Yeah, just moving sideways right now. Price tapped the optimal entry here and pushed all the way down 250 pips, but after that nothing. It's moving sideways. Waiting for support to form or waiting for price to come down here to take buys. We've created a new high in pre-NY. Yeah, pre-NY new high. Price came back to it. No, form resistance. No. Yeah, we formed a new high in pre-NY, and also above the London high we formed a new high. Yeah, price should come back up. But we have to wait for 30-minute support to form. I have to wait for 30-minute support to form. Yeah, right now we're just moving sideways. You can see how the EMAs are flatlining. We come to that area where prices has ranged quite a bit in this area. You ranged here, ranged here, you ranged there, you ranged there, coming back there. Let's see. There's nothing on the 5 minute either. Yeah, nothing yet. Anyway, it's a Monday. I'm not desperate to take a trade today. I'm never desperate to take a trade. Yeah, it's a Monday. I usually I don't take trades on Mondays and Fridays unless I have I see a clean setup, something that I've seen before, something that fits perfectly into one of these four setups, right? One of these four fits perfectly, right? Like a hand to a glove, fits into one of these four setups, then I'll take a trade, right? Otherwise, I don't try to force a trade on a Monday or a Friday. That's why on Friday, nothing. I didn't take anything on last Friday. Absolutely not, absolutely nothing, because price did come there, but this setup was formed in the London session. This 30-minute support, tradable 30-minute bull candle close. We came perfectly tapped to, I think, the sniper entry and pushed up, but I wasn't willing to take that trade because I would like to see a setup form and an immediate reaction to that structure, that setup, and then a push up or down, right? That's what I would like to see. Although you can take these trades, there's nothing wrong with them. If you identify them correctly, if you traded the London session, found this 30-minute support from a liquidity candle, then yes, you can place pending orders there and the stop loss and just wait for those trades. That's fine. But I didn't trade the London session that day, so I was not really looking for that or at that structure. I was looking for something here, but this 30-minute support was formed and price pushed up and just never came down to tap this area again. Just the next candle opened, it broke the high and continued high. It came to 3367 and then just ranged after that. We're pushing back up. Okay, we're pulling back right now. Let's take a look at this. Got 15-minute candle is about to close. Hmm. Let's get rid of this. 15-minute candle is about to close. 5-minute candle. Minute candle goes bullish above this. Hmm. I'm not willing to take sells in the middle here. No. No. I'm not willing to buy in the middle of support or resistance. Makes no sense. It's going to wait. I like trading at the extremes, either down here to look for buys or up here to look for sells, not in the middle, not halfway in the middle of the two zones. All right, 15-minute candle closed bullish above 3367. Next one broke the high. Hmm. Yeah, I'm still going to wait for 30-minute support to form. I'm going to still wait for 30. Yeah, yeah. I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to wait for 30-minute structure, 30-minute support, because price is basically ranging. We've come back to the middle. in between this supply zone, in between supply and demand, right in the middle, bang in the middle at 3367, and we're just ranging. So I want 30-minute structure. If to take buys, I want, as I said, 30-minute support to form and a tradable 30-minute bull candle to close to take the buys to go up. I'll draw the fib, wait for the pullback to go up. And for sells, then price needs to come back up here. And maybe sells from here, optimal entry. But that stop loss is wide because we'll have to find a place to manage risks, not easy. I think buys are better. Buys are far better. Just have to be patient. This is probably the top wick to push down. Yeah, this is clear. I think the top wick to push down. Top wick to push down. Yeah, I'm gonna wait. There's nothing happening right now. Apart from this big move down, this big drop, 250 pip drop down, nothing else has happened. Price just pulled back. I think we're coming further down. Around 3367, 30-minute resistance has formed, right? If 15-minute resistance forms here and a tradable 15-minute back candle closes below 3367, you could look to take buys to come further down, right? That's the trade idea for later on, because I'm going to end the stream in about 5 minutes. We've been here almost getting close to 2 hours. There's no real setup, but as I said, for buys, uh, I'm looking for 30-minute structure, 30-minute support, 30-minute tradable bull candle close to go up. That's what I'm looking for buys. For sells, if a 30-minute resistance is already formed, so if a 15-minute back candle closes here, 15-minute resistance forms here, and a 15-minute tradable back candle closes below 3367, you could take sells to come back down to break this low and come further down. All right? Yeah, I'll wait for the 15-minute candle to close and then we'll end the stream. So far, nothing. Yeah, maybe on the 1 minute, but I don't trade the 1 minute because I'm not a scalper. So, there are many traders who do trade the 1 minute and 5 minute chart. That's absolutely fine. I just don't. I don't trust the 1 minute time frames, or even for that matter, the 5 minute time frame. I'm more comfortable with the 30-minute time frame. I always have been more comfortable with the 30-minute time frame. That's my go-to time frame of choice, the 30-minute time frame for session trading. Sometimes 15-minute, yeah, after 13, like in this case, 30-minute resistance is already formed, clear 30-minute resistance. I would want to see a 15-minute tradable back candle close to take sells to come down. I would want to see that because 30-minute resistance is already formed. So if the next candle closes a 15-minute resistance, and if it's a 15-minute tradable back candle, then I'll look to take sells down, right? I'll draw the fib, I'll look to take the sells down. But yeah, not the 1 minute for me. Again, this one I was looking to take a 5-minute structure here because 30-minute support has formed, a tradable 30-minute bull candle has closed. And then, I draw the fib as I had drawn it here right now. I draw the fib, and then I look to take trade. Then it's fine to look at the 5-minute time frame. Sometimes I do, but other than that, just a trade only based off the 5-minute or the 1 minute, I don't do that. I need to see 30-minute structure, and then maybe a lower time frame is okay. So right now, 30-minute structure is only showing sells, right? The 30-minute structure is only showing sells. We have 30-minute resistance form. That's the most recent structure that we have is 30-minute clear resistance and a tradable 30-minute bear candle has closed, 200 plus pip candle has closed. That's it. Right now, at this minute, we have 30-minute bearish structure. Now, if this candle closes bullish in the next 5 minutes, um, then we have some sort of bullish structure forming, right? We have bullish structure forming. Maybe then, yeah, if it closes bullish, we'll have to wait and see how the candle is going to close. It'll have to close above 3367 for me to be interested in buys. To wait for a pullback, I'll have to draw the M15 fib. This candle broke this low, this one broke this low, so maybe from here to here, draw the fib, and then wait for a pullback here to take the buys to go up. But we'll have to wait for the 30-minute candle to close. But right now, currently, we have only 30-minute bearish structure. The 1 hour has closed bearish, and the 30-minute has closed bearish. Let's see where this candle is going to close. Needs to close below 3367. Well below 3367. Yeah, if it closes a doji, then I'm not doing anything. 925636. Let's see, gotta wait for the candle to close. If you close a doji, I'm not doing anything. It needs to close. Yeah, it's closing bullish now. Let's see, a minute more for the candle to close. Very likely going to close a doji. Yeah, no, not interested. Pushing up. Yeah. If you close bullish, then the next candle is going to break the high and continue higher. It's very likely we're going to close bullish. Yeah. And the next one is going to break the high. So 30-minute support has formed. Okay. So now support is forming above 3367 from the liquidity level, from the EMAs, from 3367. 30-minute support has formed. We looked at the 50-minute. Okay, 30-minute support has formed. There we go. Now, if price pulls back, I'll look to take a trade from here. Now, if you pull back, I'll look to take a trade from here. Okay, 30-minute support has formed, so we were looking for that. 30-minute support has formed from the EMAs and from 3367. That's three liquidity levels, three liquidity areas. We've broken the high, trying to push further up. If there is a pullback, then I'll look to take a trade. Buys to push back up, right? We created a new high, we formed 30-minute support, we're coming to retest the high. Now, there are some traders who take a breakout, that's absolutely fine. You can take the breakout. You can take the breakout to retest the high. I'm a pullback trader, I wait for the pullback. And sometimes it doesn't pull back. But I always wait for the pullback. That's just the way I trade. But if you're a breakout trader, you can take the breakout. It's just that your risk will be much. You'll have a larger risk area. You'll have if price goes in drawdown, then if price reverses, you'll go in drawdown very quickly if you take a breakout. But I wait for a pullback. So this is the candle. This is the most recent candle that broke the previous M15 low. This one broke this M15 low. So the high is 330,593. 593. Yeah, we're pushing up. Ooh, don't think we're going to get a pullback. Okay, that's the end of the stream. If you've taken the breakout trade and your price is, then you should be in profit and price should be heading up there. I said price should be going above this high, above this 30-minute candle high. If you've taken the breakout, you can take partial positions just above that high, or the round number there would be 3381. You can take partial positions at around 3381, and then you hold the rest for 3381. Yeah. No pullback, but this is where price could be heading to. 3381, 3384, 3391, and maybe even further to 3340. That'll be your final TP if you took the breakout, about 300 pips. I'm just for me, I'm waiting for a pullback. I'll probably wait. Yeah, I'm going to be waiting for the 4-hour candle close. I'm not going to be doing anything right now. But if you're a breakout trader, then you're in profit. You could be holding to 3381, 3384, 3391, and then if there is more bullish volume to 3400. Right? I'm just waiting for price to pull back to, yeah, around, if we pull back, if at all. Yeah, around this optimal level. I'm not willing to take buys any further than that, any higher than that. All right. That's the end of the stream. We've been here for 2 hours. Yeah, 2 hours exactly. All right. See you guys tomorrow, 7:30 a.m. EST. We'll do our prep work / analysis and then see if there is a setup for the first couple of hours of the NY Open, right? Again, the buys are what I was in favor of today, not the sells. So the buys 30-minute support has formed, tradable 30-minute bull candle has closed from the EMAs to EMAs and from weekly SR. We're closed above, right? So that's a very good setup. It's just that I don't take the breakout. I wait for price to pull back around these levels to take the buys to go up, right? If it doesn't pull back today, I'm fine. I'm absolutely fine. It's a Monday. I don't want to force a trade today. But that's what we spoke about right at the beginning of the stream for this setup, right? New high or new pre-NY high, 30-minute pullback, 30-minute support form, a tradable 30-minute bull candle close. We were looking right at the beginning of the stream. This is what I said: either this setup or this setup, right? But price wasn't 200 plus 200 pips away from the EMAs at that point. This is not 200 pips away from the EMAs. So it was the first setup, right? That we were planning that it would work, and it seems like it is working, heading to 3381, then possibly 3384, which is the Asian high, and then deeper 3391, and then 3400 if there is volume. All right. See you guys tomorrow, 7:30 a.m. EST. Take care. Don't overtrade. Don't over risk. See ya.